Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And lo and behold, we are here to talk about the Oscar-nominated Pixar Sparkshort Kitbull. Now, Dragon, we did this a little out of sequence. Of course, we talked through a few of the Pixar Sparkshorts chronologically as they came out. And then we took a little bit of a break. We also we started talking about the Pixar Sparkshorts that started appearing on Disney Plus. But Dragon, there's a few that we haven't gotten to yet, and you know why we did that, Dragon? You know why we took that break?
Why?
Because we just had the intuition, like, you know what, Kitbull, so good. We know it's going to be nominated for Best Animated Short. So let's make it topical. Let's put it on the shelf. Let's hold off on it. And my God, Dragon, aren't we planning geniuses now? Because isn't Kitbull so topical now that we're doing it right now at this moment?
Lucky for us, it was next in the rotation anyway, so we're not really going fully out of sequence on this. We took a siesta, but with a plan.
Right.
It's all part of the plan, folks.
All right, so Pink Pearl says she's not seen this short yet. Pink Pearl, come on, man, you get on it.
Well, the good news is, Pink Pearl, this is one of the original ones that was on YouTube before they put the remaining 3 Sparkshorts on Disney Plus. Exactly. Right now, all of them are on Disney Plus, but regardless, this one is on YouTube. Honestly, if you really want,
I'm pretty sure she has Disney Plus because she's saying she likes one of the new ones as a high-functioning autistic, and yeah, Pink Pearl is a high-functioning autistic myself. I can say that short, Float, I believe it's called. Yeah.
Oh wait,
Float.
Do you mean the new one, or do you mean the one that there's the new one? Tiki also deals with that.
Oh, right. Well, I don't know. Personally, I relate more to Float, but yeah, you're right. It could technically be. She says she has Disney Plus.
Well, then, Tiki, did you see the new one yet?
The new one, the new one.
Loop. Did you see Loop?
I don't think so. No.
All right, it's worth checking.
I don't think I have seen it yet.
All right. But yes, all on Disney Plus, folks. Definitely worth checking out. Of course, the really great thing about the Sparkshorts, man, have they taken off. Just to acknowledge it with all the Oscar buzz and such, is that, of course, the Sparkshorts kind of in premise was just kind of like based on Borrowed Time, which also, way back when, also, it was just kind of an offshoot of a couple animators at Pixar using kind of the tools of the trade there. Made a short that was so good, went up against Pixar in the Oscars for sure.
Right,
and they figured, man, this might be a good idea. Let's sponsor this, call it Sparkshorts, and see where it goes. And lo and behold, yet again, made the Oscar cut. Awesome.
And so, Dragon, this is just proof that Pixar really loves dogs.
Yeah, if up wasn't enough evidence, because some people look at the first Toy Story and they say, "Oh my God, Scud, man!" And then of course, they're working from that going forward.
Right. But more importantly, Dragon, the Academy really loves dogs because we got Feast. The Academy really loves when Disney does dog-related projects on a short film basis. So with that in mind, Dragon, I will say, I do really like this, and re-examining it, I've watched it like maybe 10 or so times, just, kind of in preparation for this. Since it's so short, I can kind of marathon it and kind of pick it apart. But I really do like it. I wouldn't put it in the upper echelon of Sparkshorts. Personally, I would probably put Float above this, but I don't want to speak ill of it by any means. I do think it is a very powerful short in its own right. It's got gorgeous animation. It's got kind of very, very heart-tugging music. And so, it's got all the ingredients. I can see why the Academy chose it. I don't know, Float speaks to me on a more personal level, but of course, if you're an animal lover, then this obviously is going to tug at your heartstrings more. So, anyways, what's your subjective take on it, Dragon?
I also really like this. Again, I think the Sparkshorts, honestly, as a whole, they've all been kind of slam dunks. Kitbull in particular, though, it's great to see Pixar, so rarely do they do 2D animation, and I feel this one was just superb in the look and the style. But really, it's not only the animation style is really cool on this one. It's the visual storytelling really got me. And of course, Pixar shorts visual storytelling, obviously, they go hand in hand. I'm aware of this, but still, there's something really to be said about this. I mean, everything down to the sound design. These are the shorts that remind you, like, oh my God, Pixar, they know how to tell a story in all the right ways, man. It's just, I mean, all the people at Pixar specifically, we should also highlight here, again, with kind of Sparkshort's nature of all, someone who kind of carry the kind of this baby of a great idea to the finish line, man. It's awesome. And speaking of which, little dish of how this thing came into being.
Little slice of background.
Yeah, so this was directed and written by Rosanna Sullivan. Now, Rosanna Sullivan, she'd been a board artist. And a lot of the people who've kind of been directing and in charge of their individual Sparkshorts, again, they're really pulling from kind of the kind of storyboarding department. A lot of things. Not everybody. Some people, of course, from the technical side of things. Some people from the story side of things. So we have a storyboard artist who was on Monsters University, Incredibles 2, and the short Piper, which won the Oscar the year that Borrowed Time was up. That was the one that was up against Borrowed Time.
Again, of course, the Pixar versus Pixar. Dragon, you and I were rooting for Borrowed Time.
Mm-hmm.
And why were we specifically rooting for Borrowed Time, Dragon? Well, what was our rooting interest in Borrowed Time?
Of course, we were so jazzed.
A little bit.
We were so jazzed by Borrowed Time when it came out for the first time. We recapped it, we talked about it, and actually got the attention of the people who worked on Borrowed Time. They really liked what we had to say on it.
So suffice to say, Dragon, I Piper is adorable and it has great technology behind it, but man, you and I don't think I've ever rooted so hard in that category for something.
Anywho, so of course, the inspiration for this, oddly enough, the director, it's very much it's kind of a self-reflective piece. So at times, kind of like with Pearl, the director on that, of course, she was very much into knit one, Pearl two, as it were. She was very much into like kind of the knitting thing. And this director, she was she watched cat videos in times of great stress. Basically used kind of cat videos, as many people do at the workplace. You see some cat videos, kind of Shrek
with cats, Dragon.
Oh yeah, that's a word to live by, folks. And a Netflix documentary series to check out. Mini-series, mind you. Anyway, so point being, so there's a love of cat videos in play here, like in times of stress, and it also reflected as she was growing up. She grew up really shy and had trouble making friends. You can kind of see the overlap of the themes here.
Oh yeah.
The animation style in particular, basically it's a 2D look with a multi-plane background look, which is really impressive and I think does really pop. And basically everything was animated and painted by hand, on the computer, mind you, but still essentially by hand. It wasn't like simulators were not used on this, which of course would be really hard to you can have a simulator on 2D. Not impossible, but not easy either. Mm-hmm. Especially, I believe all of these were on a time crunch of 6 months. I believe that was the whole sell of Sparkshorts. Basically, everything you see before you is done within 6 months, which is not easy.
Yeah, and the appeal of Sparkshorts is that it really does kind of like branch out the style in addition to like the intense thematic elements that you can't really do with the official Pixar brand, which, as much as we love it, is very family friendly. It's not to say that these shorts aren't family friendly, but they are very thought provoking in a way that, Pixar is, doesn't really tread.
Certainly.
So Pink Pearl, the D23 movie on the lot. Are you talking about a Disney Plus movie, Pink Pearl? I've never heard of this. The only thing I know about On the Lot is that it was a reality show at one point, in the style of like American Idol, except you competed to be the next great movie director. And Penny Marshall and Gary Marshall were both hosts. I remember this. It was on Fox, On the Lot. All right. Anyways, Draken, I'm terribly sorry. Oh man, that was a wow. That was a brain.
Anyway, let's break down Kitbull. Let's go through. Let's talk about why Kitbull is great here. Let's just go through like the wonderment that is Kitbull. Unless you got anything else you want to get out of the way and kind of preamble here.
Well, just really quick, Pink Pearl. I haven't gone around to watching Legend of the Three Caballeros yet. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of Yeah. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm sorry. Anyways. All right, Spark Shorts, Kitbull. Let's get to it, Dragon.
All right, so we are in the Mission District of San Francisco, which I believe is yet another pull from Rosanna Sullivan's life, I believe. Of course, a lot of familiarity and kind of like the setting of this. We're in the Mission District of San Francisco.
I'll go to Oakland, Rosanna. I'm sorry.
She's not a stone, Tiki.
Anyway. I'm sorry. Oh God.
Okay, so we start with a little
Oakland, kid. Rosanna.
Okay, we don't. Again, every time you make that reference, again, compelling camera angle, and you're just like, don't go to Oakland, Riley. Anyway. Okay, so all serious. So we start off. We have this adorable little, black kitten with a fish. Which, by the way, tell me, Tiki, I'll be shocked if you didn't have the same thing I did the first watch of this thing. Tell me that kitten didn't remind you of Cupcake from Hey Arnold.
Oh yeah, you know what? Oh man, damn. Now that you mention it, okay. First of all, Dragon, that episode is underrated.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Heartbreaking, but wow, yeah. Honestly, no, not on first reaction, but now that you mention it, absolutely.
All right, so Cupcake, the little kitten that Harold kind of takes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Now I'm like reliving the childhood trauma of that episode, Dragon. Thank you for that.
Okay, point is. Okay, anyway, fun little nod to Hey Arnold if you understand that reference. Hopefully you do. Underrated episode. Anyway, so point being, we have a little kitten and
but
basically
I was hungry.
Much like this kitten who's kind of in the fish district here is kind of trying to get, trying to look for some fish, as it were. A woman who, again, I want to say is kind of it's supposed to be kind of a stand-in for, Rosanna Sullivan, I believe. I'm not sure. Point being, we have a woman off screen kind of trying to, call the little kitten. And then the kitten goes to hide in the shadows, which, of course, is the symbol of shyness. You're hiding in the shadows. You're not really coming out. Again, the color choice on the kitten, again, very much kind of a character who's in shadows versus its counterpart, who's very much kind of bright and white in colorization, kind of a yin-yang sort of thing, one could argue.
Like many a Pixar dynamic duo, one could say.
One could say. Anyway, so important story point here, kitten. Not really sociable at this moment, getting kind of afraid of big things, big unknown things. That's going to be an important story point. So Kitten goes off, ends up kind of winding up in a back alley, kind of vacant lot area, let's call it, which with this giant kind of treacherous pile of junk and clutter of boxes and barbed wire, yet an adorable plush elephant.
Maybe that's an Easter egg. Maybe we're going to see an elephant in one of these Spark Shorts soon.
Maybe. So, of course, we have some really kind of like, like when a cat gets scared and defensive, you have kind of that almost like kind of Halloween look with a cat. You almost have the kind of that kind of evil little look on a cat with the animation, a little like basically when a cat's like going, that whole thing just kind of like gets in defensive mode. Looks like basically, I love that detail in the animation. The cat goes a little wild in places where it looks really scrappy. I guess that's the proper kind of adjective to look for. It gets really scrappy looking in the animation when it, I believe it scares the pigeons off and just kind of runs up to some pigeons, just kind of playing or exploring the area, as it were. So basically, she kind of the kitten here just kind of goes back to the little kind of area amongst kind of the clutter of junk. Again, basically has this cozy little mini apartment within like a box, and this stuffed little elephant, little plush elephant. I love the comfort and the solitude I love the coziness of this. There's a comfort and solitude with the elephant and the fish. It's such a cozy little image, really is.
And I mean, what's great about it is it does kind of like illustrate sort of the cocoon that us antisocial types put ourselves in. And Dragon, I could very much relate to this on that level.
And Pink Pearl makes mention of a Spirited Away reference with the cat. Says that the kitten reminded her of the little soot balls from Spirited Away. And yeah, there's a little bit of soot ball quality now that you mention it. All right, so night falls. So it's nighttime. This is what I'm talking. This is where the things get in overdrive. And these are like the little details. Like way back in the day, man, I remember like Ratatouille was the Pixar movie where the little details really jumped out to me when I was first watching a Pixar movie. So I'll never remember just kind of that first. That's when you kind of fell in love with the process of
Well,
animation.
that's because Ratatouille is essentially like an indie art house movie disguised as a Pixar movie.
I know, man. It is. It is. That's what I'm saying. Like the thing that will never leave my memory in all of one of the things that'll never leave my memory in all of Pixar will be Remy. That scene where Luigi Linguini opens the jar and Remy just kind of runs away and then he comes back and like the sound design, like the little pause. And anyway, I'm getting nostalgic here. Point being, it's nighttime. And we hear this great sound. We have this great sound design and lighting. As we have this, is basically things are happening outside the box. We have kind of the box POV shot built in here. The idea is like in a little cardboard box, you have this little opening where you put your hands through, and basically the kitten can look through it and has kind of a boxed-in kind of perception of the world, which is like someone in their house looking for the screen or something.
The peephole.
Yeah, the peephole or the blinds. I'm thinking of the blinds. That's what it is. But
Right. Yeah.
So we see two men moving a dog house. Basically, what we will learn is this dog house, this big kind of dog house. It's nighttime. It's just kind of this really interesting lighting pattern. It looks really great. And the paint really paints a picture is what I'm getting at here. The sound design, like it paints a picture for our minds in the audience. Okay. So it's daytime. So what happens?
Okay, so it's daytime, and we see a POV shot inside the box. We see a close up of some teeth, Dragon, some big old teeth.
Yes, because like the kid was like looking left and right, and of course like mid turns, this giant, this giant close up of the pit bull. What they did here is my favorite thing. I love that. I remember this from way back in Batman the Animated Series when you had cell animation was so great. Is you could have like a single painted image and you animate a little bit of it. We used to use like kind of like a still painting of the pit bull just close up with like the teeth.
Right.
So, because I never imagined in a million years I would ever see that in something Pixar did. I gotta be honest, and it's great. So,
and you can just imagine that the pit bull was outside, and he's like, "Ooh, what's in the box?"
So there's a lot of fear and kind of defensive. Basically, the cat's freaking out, just doing little, the claws come out, just scratch in the air. Importantly, nothing's happened yet. Just like he's just trying to scare the potentially predatory thing away here. And the pit bull is so cute, man. This thing's called Kitbull for a reason. This pit bull is absolutely the co-star of this thing in all the right ways because the pit bull is equally as compelling. Where Kitbull, so cute, non-threateningly curious. We have like kind of the shy curiosity of this cat versus kind of like the big kind of like the guy who's owning the space and just kind of looking around very innocently, being the Pitbull.
Right.
So we have like a shriek from the cat is really on the fence, surrounded by barbed wires. A really great visual kind of landscape here. Again, like the black barbed wire, the black cat. Again, they're kind of separated by this like it's almost like neighbors, like stay off my lawn sort of thing,
Yeah, I like how seedy the actual house looks and how it feels like, like just vaguely sinister things are going on in there, but you don't exactly know what it is. It kind of has like a Bambi, like, yes, man, kind of vibe to it.
Absolutely. I love like within the animation on the animals here. I love how we have this playful mirrored response where the cat's basically getting all defensive and just kind of like make like like going like hopping up and down a little bit practically. And the pit bull, on the other hand, is like doing it in a more playful way, but again, mirroring exactly what the cat's doing. So this is interrupted by the unseen man.
Yes, man.
Yes. So we have kind of our unseen man here, and again, I like that. Again, on the flip side here, we have unseen. We have the unseen woman, and we have the unseen man. Of course, the unseen man. The men are very sinister here, and of course, the woman, of course, can be really compassionate. So it's going to be really interesting, cool dynamic there on the rewatch. So. Unseen man, we're back in the kitten's back in the box. We have the box POV here, and we see this happy dog is kind of has a collar put on and is then chained and abandoned. But it's all happy go like, oh boy, I'm going to play with my new owner, and then they like just callously just like shuts the door and just leaves the dog out there chained to his box, chained to a cinder block. Won't be he's chained to something. So basically, the two need a friend.
Yeah, the abuse in this short is definitely the thing that really like sticks with me and really kind of makes it so, you couldn't really imagine it as a proper Pixar short, but it's way more bold than a Pixar short could be.
Absolutely, I love that these two characters they need a friend in they absolutely need a friend in each other. Seeing how the man treats his pet, and of course we're seeing it's not really
Well,
like a pet.
Dragon, you've got a friend in me.
Mm-hmm. No, the point being is, of course, we're seeing like the whole. We have the conventional dynamic, owner and pet, and we're seeing a perversion of that. And of course, Red's kind of building in kind of our big thing at the end, so to speak. So let's see. So later, just basically a dreary afternoon plays out. I love how dreary and gray everything feels. Like we have like really great. There's no like we had the close thing of bright and sunny earlier in the thing, but it's like it's just a really dreary day, and then later we're gonna have rain. We're gonna have really great environmental kind of like kind of real great sense of tone in the animation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the pit bull's asleep. Kitten is trying to escape. Like, oh god, there's this giant dog. I gotta get out of here. And of course, the kitten tries to get out. Ends up knocking over a bottle, like an empty, like a water bottle or something. Of course, the bottle falls, and then the little orange cap on top, like a Gatorade bottle or something, whatever. Point being, the little orange cap comes off, and I love the animation on the rolling cap. And this is when we get into the cat video stuff right here in the animation.
Oh my god, yeah. So I want to point out my favorite moment in this is so basically the cap hits the pit bull rolls it back. The cat kind of hesitantly rolls the cat back to the pit bull. And Dragon, the second time specifically that the pit bull rolls the cat back to the cat, and the cat just kind of like leaps up, like all startled, like, oh my god, it worked.
I love all the hiding and all the true to life shy animation within that. Like tosses it back and like hides behind the corner, and then oh god, it's like this is fun. So even though like they're still like not quite adversarial, but they're sort of like they're breaking down the adversarial starting point to them just kind of like so getting a little game of like catch, but more like rolled as it were. Which I gotta be honest, when you really pare down these Sparkshorts, you look at something like Smash and Grab. It's like just the simple things really go a long way, like little games you have between coworkers or co-stars and buddies.
Exactly.
All right, so we have this reluctant game of catch being played, and then a plane flies over. And,
oh boy!
So the dog begins to bark. The cat gets spooked. Later, okay, here we go. So the point being that we've interrupted the fun, and then we go back to our the day goes on. I forget if this is all. I can only assume this all happens within one day, which I love the day-night structure of it. If that's the case, we don't know how much time goes by, but let's assume it's within a day. Anyway, so later we're in the box POV, and we see the man is training the pit bull with the teddy bear, and basically he decapitates the teddy bear.
Yeah, this is where the really horrific stuff starts to happen here.
So of course I love the innocence of the dog here. It's like he's being trained to tear the head off. But I love how we're getting
Fox and the Hound.
Absolutely, you're right. Of course, when you think about it, technically Fox and the Hound is the beginning of all Pixar because last year gets started on Fox and the Hound.
You're not wrong.
Kind of funny. Anyway, so the point being, I love how we hit all of our visual beats with this little teddy bear thing. Because of course, Kitten befriends this, in the little kitten's little box apartment, as it were. Kitten has plush elephant. Dog decapitates plush bear. Any trust is slowly being built here. The kitten's like, okay, I'm yet again afraid.
Right.
Kitten views this, curls up to the plush elephant. We say all we need to say in that, and I think it's brilliant. This is what I'm talking about, the storytelling I'm saying, going gaga for. Then you think
visually speaking, the storytelling is very strong. Yeah.
I mean, I'm already sold there. Then we do this next bit. This next bit is where I'm gobsmacked. Oh my god!
I mean, God, it's like I don't know. It's hard for me to even talk about.
I know. That's what I'm talking about. So far we've been in kind of Pixar short territory. Now we're hitting the Sparkshort territory. This next bit here's where they go next level with stuff.
Oh yeah.
We're getting to the borrowed time area here. So we have this beautiful. And I'm in love with the setting of this, like this beautiful rainy night. And I love when we have like good rain scenes in animation too. By the way, they look great. So it's a beautiful rainy night, and we see the pit bull.
Greg, if you set it up, I'm gonna go grab a Red Bull really quick. Okay.
All right. So we see. So basically, we have that perspective shot again, where basically the doors open, and we reveal essentially with all this training and everything, the pit bull is involved in the wrong crowd with man, with the owner. The owner is running a dog ring of some variety, like kind of like a dog fighting ring, and basically just like callously. The pit bull's callously kicked out, and the way it lands on like the wet surface, just like it's kicked out of the place so lifelessly, covered in wounds and scratches and like the limping on one leg. It's tragic. It really is. But I mean, just that's where this is the Sparkshorts territory I'm talking about here, folks, where he's just utterly lifeless, and it's just sad. It kind of paints everything you need to know is just in the animation. Everything you need to know is like such sympathy for this happy-go-lucky pit bull, just seeing like the harsh realities of the world, where sometimes people are really harsh, sometimes people are just really cruel, and like they'll have dog fighting rings, and it's just like it's so tragic. And again, we completely shatter. Okay, man's best friend, not part of this, not part of this. So. So let's see. So he goes back to the and here's the saddest part too. So when the dog, that as after the pit bull is just kind of thrown out callously, just lifelessly on the ground, the pit bull gets up and he goes back to the door again for his owner's love. After all, just the tragic relationships versus the budding relationships. That's what the full theme of this thing is. We have tragic relationships and budding relationships, and just that the dog is still seeking a loving bond with an owner, and it's just not there. But he doesn't know it. Again, it's like how much more human can you get?
Yeah, it's very symbolic on a lot of levels, Dragon, of abusive relationships in general, for sure.
Yeah.
The thing that really gets to me is the scars, man.
I know, scratches in the hole, the wounds.
Yeah, the scratches. Yeah.
The limping, the one leg just doesn't touch the ground again after that, man. It's horrifying. So again, the juxtaposition's so great here. We have the dog who's just been through heck as it's pouring rain, and then we have the kitten cozy in his little box.
Mm-hmm.
But this is interrupted. The status quo is interrupted by falling debris from, again, kind of this shaky kind of junk pile. Basically, the kitten falls out and is trapped by the plastic bottle rings, like one of those like little plastic, like 6-pack things.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, to like the kid's like not around his neck or anything. Basically, he's like, he's kind of trapped under the barbed wire. Has it kind of pinned to the ground. The point being, the cat can't go anywhere, and he's frightened. Of course, the dog is. We have the POV of a very fearful, kind of shaky cat. It's like, oh God, my home just collapsed on me. I don't know where I am. I'm stuck. I can't move because he's not putting two and two together. Oh God, I'm pinned under this thing. And now the dog looks like he's been through God knows what, is coming towards me. The very fearful cat, as the pit bull very innocently is moving towards him to free him from the barbed wire. But the kitten doesn't realize this. The kitten sees yet again the teeth close up. We have this really great shot too. Basically, the blackness behind the teeth, where it looks almost like a tribal, looks almost like a Bane mask. Technically, that's what I'm talking about. All this point being, you'd be freaked out if you were this cat too. So when the kitten goes into a fight or flight instinct, and unfortunately, the kitten goes to fight. So sad. This is like the saddest thing you can ever imagine. This little kitten, as small as it is, scratches the dog right on his big old nose, and the kitten is now free. He flees. Visually, we see the sad truth.
Yeah, this is definitely the low of lows of the short for sure, because the dog is just he's just been put through the ringer here with his owner, and then he's basically like probably in his own mind being punished for helping someone.
Yep. Again, just this. The pit bull has freed it, and then it's freed the kitten. The sad dog just limps back to his crate. It's just like the definition, like the textbook definition of sad. Like, how much sadder can you get? How much more depressing can it get? Oh God. Anyway, so the rain is now stopped.
Uh-huh.
The rain is now stopped, and we see the thought process of the kitten here. Kitten finds the cat.
Over. We have good editing here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Finds the cap. No, no, he finds the cat, then the dog, and basically rolls it to the pit bull. And there's the lack of return. I just visual storytelling, man, just tells you everything. They're like, oh yeah, the dog is just so sad, so bummed out right now, and so just like emotionally as well as physically wounded. Oh man, I just try to be neighborly, and look where it got me. Like, oh god. And of course, like the bigger message being sometimes in our when we retreat into our shyness, we can risk alienating others, and we also get sometimes we push people away when we don't mean to. It's all that sort of stuff. Really, really good. So it's wonderful. I just love how we on an animal that we can't really get inside the head of except for just visually. We express so much guilt and emotion within this kitten here. With the kitten just he has guilt. He could leave. But he could basically right now he's all clear. Just leave the place. Just leave the dog and dodge. But he steps out of his comfort zone. The kitten steps out of its comfort zone. It goes far beyond where it ever has before. It goes past kind of the safe barricade of the barbed wire. It goes all the way into the pit bull's doghouse. And the pit bull's just kind of like laying down in defeat, and just kind of essentially like nursing his wounds there. And we just hear the sleeping. We hear the breath in the nose whistle of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this great moment where we hear the pit bull growl, which of course gives the kitten pause, but the kitten he nudges up to it. And so basically symbolically, the pit bull is the plush friend after all.
Oh god. Oh my god, yes.
Essentially that's the message. Again, an enclosed space where we had kind of this plush comfort buddy, and now we have it with the pit bull. So again, we're replacing what's in our old status quo with something in the new status quo. It's basically of a more sociable, world, as it were. So then,
symbolically, Dragon, the kitten licks the pit bull's wounds
as an apology, and then curls up next to his new pal. And the tail bit, I love the tail bit, where basically the dog's tail wags, and you see his eyes just kind of go from like a little acknowledgement back to like kind of this calm zen like kind of slant. So the two then joyfully play with the cap outside after a little R&R time, but then here we go. Oh my god! So
then man shows up.
So the light of the dog fighting, basically the light of the dog fighting ring goes on. I love the intensity of the lighting too, from the rain scene and from here too. I love it's almost like this hellish light of like this weird.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Like the just how vague it is, but it's like we know that bad shit is going down in there.
We don't see it, but that red lighting and just seeing how the aftermath is all you need. We don't need to see the horror. We just need the aftermath and just the intimation that it's going to happen again. That's all you need. And anyway, so now here's where the editing gets really kicked into overdrive. Now this is where we get into the Oscar territory.
Oh yeah.
Stuff right here. Oh god. So we have that intense hellish lighting come on, and the man with basically this tense edit here where they're trying to climb out of the place. It's a tense escape. The kitten is leading the way. The pit bull is like going basically the same way the kitten is, but obviously the scale's a little imbalanced here because the kitten weighs like $150 soaking wet. The pit bull not so much. Pitbull basically tries to climb on the plank. The plank gives way and cracks. Anyway, so the kitten then goes back, gives him a push. I mean, this really it takes it back to like Buzz and Woody trying to get on the moving van.
Kinda for sure.
Go, I'll catch up. That sort of stuff, man. Like they're buddies helping each other out. Anyway, so again they work together as one. Again, really tense editing of oh god, they just get out of there by the skin of their teeth. That intense hellish lighting comes on. The man emerges with a chain. And we just see a silhouette and a shadow. We don't fully see, man, but that's the closest we get. So the two friends, they've evaded, being caught and captured, and the cycle of abuse continuing. The two friends are playing in the alley on the outside.
I love the cat just like playfully chewing on the pit bull's tail.
Yeah. Well, it's like kind of like going for it's like like one of those. It's like you dangle something in front of like a piece of string or something. It's like that's what's
right.
It's like a tassel or something. Anyway, so the cat is then lured by the woman from earlier with food this time. Basically, puts a little bit of food for the cat, doing like a little click noise, a little snapping motion with the hand. The kitten now has learned how to reach out, and basically we have this beautiful kind of How to Train Your Dragons esque moment here with like the hand in the head moment here.
God, yeah.
There's this really great here. You basically you see the hand, and they put the head up to the hand. Anyway, so then now the kitten has kind of found a new owner there. Everything is going great. But what about the pit bull? So I love this bit where basically the pit bull is seen by the woman is the pit bull emerges with all these scars, and basically, initially it frightens the woman, as you would imagine it would if you were just kind of a stranger in the street without being. If you were not a known dog lover, if you like, some people love go gaga for rescue dogs, but again, you see a scratched, basically a battered dog with like hopping on one leg, and it's a
I
pit
mean,
bull.
for me, I'd be horrified, but I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be horrified about the dog itself. I'd be horrified that someone could do that to the dog.
Well, sure, but I'm saying also a pit bull too, and pit bulls again can be really tough. It can be really intimidating. The point being, initially, woman is put off by it, but wonderful bit here, kitten vouches for him. The kitten vouches for the dog, says, "Hey, it's my buddy here. He's not afraid of."
Yeah.
There's some beautifully subtle trust animation. I love this. Where basically the dog goes up there, and you see this dog has just been like hurt by man so much. Just put its trust. I don't. They showed trust in the animation. That's the best wording I can come up with. It goes up there, and then trust is earned. And we revealed the woman and her boyfriend, whoever the other guy is. With the kitten, with the pit bull, as they kind of in this beauty of a shot here overlooking San Francisco as a little family, as it were. And then we have the last shot, which is basically the shot we present before you here now. The last shot, the spray painted, we took the symbol of where they were on the outside, like they're on the outside, they're in kind of like safety and warmth of San Francisco. But again, inside the last image was all the horror. On the outside is kind of the freedom that they now have and the kind of the friendship that they've cultivated and the new life forms. It's a beautiful spray painted Kitbull.
Yeah. All right. So, final thought, Dragon. It's interesting because I feel like the very nature of the Sparkshorts, like each one is going to sort of like appeal to people differently. And so by its nature, I feel like Float is the one for me that really does speak to me. Like there are definitely situations in Float that I have personally just like experienced in my real life on both sides of things. So with Kitbull, it's like, I'm allergic to animals, a lot of animals, Dragon. So I haven't lived with animals at all. I'm not really that big of a cat or a dog person, to tell you the truth. But I feel like the beauty of Kitbull, as we've kind of broken down here, is just kind of like the layers of symbolism, the deep storytelling, kind of like the atmospheric quality to it, how they can sort of make a world out of this alley. And I do see why it got the nomination. I would have liked to see Float get in there, but I do see why this got the nod for sure.
Yeah, I echo the sentiment in the grand scheme. If we're members of the Academy who actually were the thinkers of the bunch, saying, how can you not nominate this but nominate that? That's sort of. If we were those two guys, like, it's these guys again. The ones who have the opinions anyway. But if we were the ones throwing out some nominations, I throw out Float as well. If not Float, then Wind, because Wind really got me too. I love Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, point being, seriously though, out of the bunch that we do have at the end of the day, though, Kitbull is really impressive, though. I mean, out of the bunch, any of these Sparkshorts you can't really miss. So at the end of the day, it's the fact that one of them got in there. I do hope that Kitbull wins. Kitbull is a wonderful example of what the minds and the creatives at Pixar can do, especially when challenged to do something a little bit different, which is kind of the credo of the Sparkshorts. It's some beautiful. It's kind of a beautiful 2D allegory for shyness, trauma, and the kind of the healing power of friendship. That's kind of what it is. It's communicated so visually and just so well. It kind of boggles at the end of the day, man. It boggles in the best of ways. Like, look at what we can do, man. Look at Pixar is kind of trying something a little different, and like to take another stab at 2D. And look how wonderful it turned out. Last time they really did 2D, we had My Friend the Rat, and that was also really good. But this is like we really kind of blew the doors off the barn in a sense, blew the doors off the alleyway in a sense. A lot of fun. I'm pulling for the Oscar, man. I really am, because I really respect the crap of this one.
All right, so folks, this is just part one of our two-part Oscar animation breakdown. Now we're going to be doing, this weekend, we're going to be doing a look at I Lost My Body, the French animated film that's much like Kitbull, kind of packed with symbolism. It's about a hand. Not even joking, right, Dragon?
Nope.
It's literally about a hand. So check that out. That's happening this weekend. Thanks for joining in, Pink Pearl. Thanks for joining us in the comments. And thank you guys so much for subscribing. I have a really good feeling about 2020 in terms of the channel. I think we're growing at a pretty steady rate. I really like the the community that we've kind of built for ourselves here. And I'm very optimistic. I'm very happy about the spot that this channel's in right now. So just thank you guys for that. Anyways, have a good night, everyone. See you later.
Beware man.
Yes, man.
That man.
Man will drown your puppies.